Commission was on this matter, talking to various stakeholders as far as scholar transport challenges in the province are concerned. Just talk to us about what you want to achieve through this, your visit in the province.
Well, this is the final phase of the December-January road safety campaign, and one of the key focuses is on making sure that the scholar transport fleet is roadworthy. What you can see behind me is one of the 60 buses that we have called to the centre this morning. What we will be doing with these buses is putting them over the pit that is in front of me. We will be testing brakes, gears, and other aspects of road safety. We want to make sure that these vehicles are in good condition. There have, as you say, been problems in the past with safety in scholar transport and also with the provision of scholar transport. What I'm pleased to say is that Northwest Province have now developed a dedicated unit that is policing and enforcing regulations with regard to scholar transport. If a bus company brings a roadworthy vehicle here, but then substitutes that with an unroadworthy vehicle, they will be caught by the law enforcement operators that are now patrolling villages and schools in villages, because this is where we have seen cheating with regard to the scholar transport contracts in Northwest. Of course, what's also important is that there are many parents who procure their own scholar transport. And yesterday, there was a meeting with we are saying that those vehicles must be clearly marked as scholar transport vehicles. They must also be brought to road safety vehicle testing sites so that they can be tested for roadworthiness. And of course, there has to be policing of drivers. Last year, we had a terrible incident where a roadworthy bus was being driven by a drunk driver. And through cooperation by the law enforcement officials and school principals, that driver was arrested. But we want to make sure that taxi associations and bus operators are self-policing and making sure that their drivers are behaving in a responsible manner when they carry people's precious children to and from schools.
And still on the issue of scholar transport, in terms of the department inspecting these buses, are you going to ensure that all of them are inspected in the province, taking into consideration challenges that are there, that many of them are unroadworthy, and even also speak to the issue of the state of the roads in the province, because some of these scholar transport operators are saying our buses are dilapidated because there are no roads. Please talk to those two issues.
Well, the Northwest Transport Department has procured a fleet of 786 buses from over 300 different service providers, and that is the fleet that we are busy testing this morning. Of course, you would understand that different categories of roads are the responsibility of provincial and municipal authorities. Last year, for the first time, we adopted, together with all provinces and municipalities, a common set of standards for road maintenance. We will now, going forward, be using those common set of standards to make sure that provinces are spending the conditional grant we give them for road maintenance appropriately, and of course also making sure that municipalities don't return the municipal infrastructure grant to National Treasury while their roads are littered with potholes.
And Minister, schools reopen next week, Wednesday. And like I said in my introduction, that the Human Rights Commission was put in this matter of scholar transport in the province, where we've heard stories from different stakeholders about the challenges that are there, that some children or school learners who miss school days due to unavailability of this scholar transport. What would you say to the parents of those learners who are listening to this discussion right now? We are going into the new year, the academic year is beginning next week, like I said. Are you saying that these things, we are going to see them coming to an end of scholar transport that are not pitching up?
Well, first of all, what I'm saying is that Northwest Province has procured 786 buses to transport learners, and they have developed a dedicated fleet to police the operations of those buses. And that fleet will not just be in the main urban centres, it will also be operating in the villages. Of course, there are broader issues that relate to the question of the budgets that provincial governments receive from National Treasury, and also the important interface between the Department of Education and the Department of Transport. Last year, myself and the Minister of Education had a lengthy meeting about the new scholar transport policy that we are in the process of developing. And obviously that policy is aimed at trying to address the question of the standard of transport that learners receive, the amount of transport that learners receive, and in the longer term, in conjunction with National Treasury, the financing of scholar transport. So you would understand that some of the issues that you are raising are not really transport issues. They are Department of Education issues, National Treasury issues. But what I am trying to do is my job. And my job is to make sure that those vehicles that arrive to collect children are roadworthy, and that parents can be sure that those buses are not going to have problems with brakes and gears and other unfortunate incidences that could cause accidents for their children.
And just finally, Minister, I want us to talk about the issue of the interventory order from the High Court in Gauteng about the preferred bidder for the driving license card machine. Just the reaction of the department on that particular order.
Well, I must say we're delighted that we now have clarity on this matter. We can move on. We've been doing a lot of work with the Department of Home Affairs. You would understand that a driver's license is actually a form of identification. It's very important that the identification system in our country has integrity. It's very important that we should be dealing with all forms of irregular activities. We believe that by working more closely with Home Affairs, who will be printing the driver's license card for us in the interim while we are putting out a new tender in this matter, we think that this is going to help. We've integrated our IT systems, and however we land up in terms of printing, there's going to be a much closer relationship between the Department of Home Affairs and the Department of Transport. And the long-term intention is that we should be able to digitize these cards, and also to make sure that citizens, in fact, wouldn't have to have a whole range of cards that would pertain to their identity and to their driver's license qualifications.
When are you advertising the tender?
Well, the court has asked us to advertise it within 30 days. We obviously have asked our legal team to look at the judgment and give us further advice on this matter, and I'm sure that we will be able to pronounce on that very soon.
Thank you very much. That's the Transport Minister, Barbara Creecy, was about the meeting.
Perfect.
Why pass? Some they have, some they don't.
Yes, 100%.
Each and every seat. God close close it out. Right, but it must not close manual. It must close because it's got a key. Then you look at the steps, whether they are not damaged or what. Inside, you go inside. Everything is still okay. Where's your fire extinguisher?
So right now, I want to seat belt.
You've got the fire extinguisher. Must be a sticker here saying emergency exit. Why emergency exit? If something happens, people must go and break that window and get out.
So it doesn't say that.
This one doesn't have.
Yeah, those are the things that we are marking a minister as we check.
The seat must be very tight, like this.
Yeah.
It's not tight. Some of the
Some, yes.
Surely that must be a
It must be a standard, minister. We're going to make sure that it becomes standard.
Nowadays, our buses, they don't have a standing capacity. Only 65. This is a big bus. They must put this emergency exit one window, just like the canteen at the end. Because it's a kids bus.
Like all the windows.
Yes.
Some, the app says if the window is right, it doesn't have steam.
So the emergency exit has on all the windows.
Okay. Like this one, then we leave this one, then here, just like that.
One after.
One after the other.
Some are on top, on the other bus like they are on top there.
The other issue, minister, is hygiene in the bus. The cleaning of the buses. This is much better for me. It smells a bit better. I've seen the West. So,
it's not the cleanest.
it's not the cleanest. I know it's better in the minister.
It's not the dirtiest.
Not the dirtiest. Yeah.
And you also look at the floor. The floor must be stiff. Some, you can even see through them. Yeah, that is not right. We are just once coming. Yeah.
But even this, it's a trip hazard.
This one here.
Yeah, this is an emergency we were talking about on top here. This is another one. Some of these you open here. They open this emergency.
Everybody out of the way of the bus. Because he can't see you.
like my other colleague, he got the information, it's already done. And there's a system. This system it's under the National Transport So we're going to test here. We're going to check for the brakes. Once I'm explaining to you, you can check there what is the results.
Okay.
There by my other colleague. Yeah. So we're going to start now. And the reason why we test the braking system here is for our kids. These buses, they are under the tender system of the government. And that's why we test these brakes before the schools are opening, reopening. So I think we can start now with the brakes. So you can go for me to the website and you can check the results.
How are you? So this is the system that we use to test the brakes of the vehicle. It just shows if the brakes are in good condition. If they're in good condition, it will just say pass here. If it's not in good condition, it will just write fail here. Okay. So we definitely put it on the roller and start our test. Just to ensure safety, let us all come this side. Keep everything and breathe down, give the breathe, ensure that you're staying in. We are going to start our brake test now. Both the rollers are going to roll. Just hold it tight, hold it tight. Give everything. Apply brakes like you're going to the stop sign slowly. Thank you. So it has failed, that means the brakes do not comply at all. Now we are going to, yes, come and see. You can come and see that.
Brakes are failed. Brakes have failed.
Now we are now going to test the parking brake. Leave everything. Hand brake. Just ensure safety. Please apply the hand brake for me. It's also failed. You cannot.
This side is weaker on the one.
Yeah, that means on the other side is a bit weaker. On the other side it is, yeah. So you see here it gives you the percentage is.
And this side it's not.
Yes, this side is the mass of the bus. So we are now going to move it forward and test the service brake of the rear axle. Let's just ensure safety. Reverse bigger. Chuck. Leave everything and bring down. Now we are going to do the service bring Let's just ensure safety of all. Apply. Next. So the brakes at the rear are not working, so they cannot apply at all. So it cannot in anyhow capture the rollers when they are rolling. So that means when you are driving, the brakes at the rear will not breathe at all. Yeah, it failed in this way. But it said.
Why does it say pass?
That, basically that means one of the rear axle is in good condition. So meaning the other one, especially this one that is rolling, that means is the one that is having a problem. But we will explain everything. We are going to print this and explain to the contractor what is happening and when he should fix. But in this case, the fail was more than the pass in any other. We are going to proceed to go to the rear undercarriage. Mr. Briet will assist you further.
From the rear to the front. I just want to mind the fact that these are the tricks that they do on their own. So this one is the system. Yeah. They know how to rock the system. And if you continue to take, the driver is going to take over and you see the bus moving. It can't push the bus because it's loose. It's a wheel that's running on its own. The connecting system, yeah, it's not comfortable. No, they must now push it for pulling. Take it back. Maybe I'll give it to the driver. Maybe the driver. No, they know. Might be. In Machigan we had a bus coming from town into the location. It needs 3 robots.
jamnya separate. So what we're doing here is looking at the wiring at the back. You see the wiring for cracks on the chassis. And here at the rear, we're looking at the bushes on the axle or on the brakes. Check if there's no wear, bad wear, if the bolts are in. So we check if there's any proper bad wear and so on.
So now what about the condition of these tires?
No, just from there. From there we're going to the tires. So it's a 1 millimeter deep groove of 100% of the circumsphere. So if the tire has to be at least 1 millimeter deep groove, 100% of the sphere.
But that tire is electric.
No. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. That's you see it now. So yeah. And what they usually found also, they will change the outside to the inside, especially when they start wearing out like this.
Okay.
The owners, because they don't want to pay a lot of money, so they change the outside to the inner. So people don't go under the buses to check it perfectly so. So that's what they do it like this. So that's something we check as well. Even the side. Yeah. And then from here you go to the brakes. What we check is the thickness of the braking.
So now those
bushings
brakes were not working. So can we see here? Wow.
That can be because of the brake boosters. They don't it might be like the, no, because of it's working pneumatically. So if there's an air leak or so, and it won't engage the brakes on that side. So it can be a pneumatic, because you can hear the whistling at the front. So it may be the air leak, so it doesn't for the brakes there. So as I said again, we're looking at all the. Then we're looking at the type of bolts that we use. It must be a self-lock nuts at the back, or a castle nut. Some remember the old castle nuts going like pins. This is self-lock nuts. This is a self-lock nut. So it either have to be a self-lock nut on, or a castle nut where you have to have a safety pin through.
Okay.
Again, we continue to the rear, checking that. Chassis. So here we're going to the exhaust. We just check if it's fastened, doesn't fall around. We're also checking on the U joints, on the prop shafts. So what I can usually do, if I press it like this, it should not be having any play there. Just fine there. Just mind the oil leaks. Yep, so there's a big oil leak here. So it's one of the indicators that you can do. But it looks like it mostly comes from the clamp here. It's leaking most probably there, the fittings there. Right. Just mind the oil dripping on it. Just mind your head here, guys. Just mind your head for the pipe to go underneath. So there you're going to the silencer. You're going to check for any leaks. If there's any leaks, usually the bus will run, and it will have a lot of noise. And you can also see a lot of times you will see the black smoke, the dust forming on the silencer there. Pipes again. There again there's a prop shaft again. Yeah, this is the big oil leak. This seems like it comes from this side over here. But oil leaks, according to the Act, must be one drip every 3 seconds. Then it's a major oil leak. If it's not a major like this, they will call this like dripping. Yeah, it's not dripping like dripping like this. So yeah, okay, again, prop shaft here. We're looking at the stabilizers, arms here. Then coming to the front to the steering mechanism. We're looking at the ball joints, the wear on the ball joints here, and the steering rack here. We're also looking at the type of bolts. You see there's a class nut with a safety pin in there.
Okay.
You see the safety pin in there. If it doesn't have the self-lock nut, you have to have the safety pin in there. Yes. Just ask the driver to you got the steering wheel like I've seen way worse.